Can't make this stuff up. We got some more crazy stuff that PlayStation be doing, man. You know, in this history of this channel, I have not often brought up kind of fibbing in the gaming industry, you know, where these executives and these studio heads go out there and they promise stuff that they shouldn't have been promising, or make statements that aren't necessarily what should be done. But today we're going to talk about that. For those of you who don't know, Ratchet & Clank was announced for PC, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I actually reviewed that game. It's going to be in the description below. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is on PC, or the specs have been released for PC. Now, let me play a clip right now.
Brand new spaces. And this is something that we never could have done on previous generations. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is a game that utilizes dimensions and dimensional rifts, and that would not have been possible without the solid-state drive of the PlayStation 5. The SSD is screamingly fast. It allows us to build worlds and project players from one place to another in near instantaneous speeds.
As you can see from the clip, the developers have been very vocal on the fact that this game could only function on the PlayStation 5 because of the custom SSD that's in the PlayStation 5. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. People are going to say, but Addict, what's the issue? Well, in the PC version, that sucker you could run on a hard drive, mechanical hard drive. You can run a game that was clarified and shouted from the rooftops by the devs that it can only run on a custom SSD that the PlayStation has developed. And not only was that a lie, but it also was a lie that needed to run on an SSD in general. What does that mean? Clearly, you know, it could probably load a little bit. You know, there'd be some loading screens. When it comes to PC, they're going to want to broaden that as much as possible because they want to sell that game as much as possible. But that doesn't take away from the fact, you know, it's like I said at the beginning, I rarely talk about Ratchet & Clank or, you know, anything PlayStation related on this channel. But I got to call this out, man. How are you going to let a dev, the marketing team for PlayStation and the PR team, because I consider them both. I know they're technically different departments, but they work together on what is good for the perception of the company and what is a good procedure and a good, you know, way, good strategy to promote the game. So that I assume they work with each other. How are they going to sit there and tell this dev because it's on the official PlayStation channel, that video I showed you guys on the PlayStation channel? It'd be crazy if they actually took that down. How you going to tell, how you going to have PR and marketing look at this video? And he says this is only possible because of the SSD on the PlayStation, and let that just slide out there. And let it just slide out there. How you going to do that? Because to me, this seems like that'd be a nightmare if that's not true. But they released it on PC. And not only is it on PC now they got to look at it from a perspective like, did this game even need to be on just the PlayStation 5? And I'm okay with it being on PlayStation 5 only. That's not the issue here. I honestly feel like there should have been more games on PlayStation that was closed off for just the 5. You know, I get it. There's a huge install base on PlayStation 4 that could have really used Ratchet & Clank, but I do think exclusive games is what defines an experience, especially close towards the beginning of the generation. And you saw mainly that's what happened here. Now, I got no issue with the fact that this game could have run on the PS4. I got an issue with the fact that it really does feel like the marketing and PR at PlayStation will straight lie to you if they feel like they can sell more to you. They say stuff like, well, Jim Ryan says stuff like, we believe in generations, but all the way up to God of War was on the same console, on the PS4 and the PS5. Then they got the devs over here on Ratchet & Clank saying this has to be ran on this. There's just so many incidences of PlayStation just blatant lying to you. Just straight up lying to you to go get you to buy a PlayStation 5. For instance, when God of War was originally announced, God of War, they said it was coming out in like 2021. Fam, they deliberately came out with that trailer. And you can sit there and you can tell me I'm conspiracy theory addict, tinfoil hat addict, all you want. I am convinced they put that trailer in that showcase to make the showcase better, with no intentions on releasing that game in the year that they claimed it was going to be released. Why? To sell more PlayStation 5s. So another example of clearly fondling that line between truth and not true, just so they can hopefully sell you another PlayStation 5. Now, I'm not saying no other console manufacturer and no other company does this. Don't listen to none of these companies. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. Things constantly change in the way things are done. That's why I don't really go too much on the "we believe in generation" statement, because that's probably what they were believing at the point. And then something happened where the structure of how their company and the vision for the future changed. But you could have easily told this dev on that video, yo man, I don't think that's a good idea. Let's roll that back. Let's run that back. Let's do that again, but leave all that nonsense out of the video. We don't want to make definite statements in this bitch. We want to be able to be sure that no one can use these attacks against me. We want to make sure there's no Addict videos in the future on showing the contradictory in your statements. We might release this game on PC. Maybe at the time they didn't think the game was going to come on PC. I don't know when they started doing this huge push to the PC platform. That's probably what it is. It's not really a big issue, but it's just like, man, all these devs, all these companies, publishers, Xbox, Ubisoft, EA, Activision, all these companies, just be transparent. Because, you know, every company does it, but man, PlayStation, they be loving it for some reason. But, you know, that's pretty much the video for the most part. It just be transparent, PlayStation. You know, I get it. You wanted to really hype up the PlayStation 5, so using keywords like that would have made it look more appealing. But you could have easily have gave us what we wanted and just talked about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart without hyping up on lies. That's all I'm saying. Without hyping the game up on lies, you could have easily have done both. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys feel. Do you think this is a little bit like that false narrative marketing, or do you think this is just straight blatantly lying? I think it's a little in the middle. You know, as far as the Ratchet and Clank thing, that's blatant lying, because the devs know that game could have been on the PlayStation 4. They just came out straight out and lied. Well, maybe not the PlayStation 4, but don't come out there and say that it can only run on an SSD that's a custom that PlayStation made when you can run it on a mechanical drive on PC. That's lying. As far as everything else, I do see that's a little bit thin line stuff. You know, just a little bit false advertising. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys think, and, you know, I appreciate it. But until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.